As you know, our new school year is coming up, and we need to revise our disaster plan to include bomb threats, bombs and other explosive devices, pepper spray, food contamination, fire, the possibility of an active shooter, heightened security alerts, and threat level information.
I don't understand. What's wrong with the plan that we have now?
Well, disaster preparedness has changed since September 11th. Aside from what I've just mentioned to you, we have to be aware of CBRN.
What's CBRN?
CBRN, C-B-R-N-E. That stands for chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, and explosive weapons.
Explosive weapons? Oh, come on, guys. I can see pepper spray, but nobody's going to actually walk through our school with an atomic bomb. Guys, don't you think that this conversation that we are having about a nuclear weapon in our school is going a little bit overboard?
No. Unfortunately, it's not overboard at all. Look, 80% of all terrorist incidents involve explosive devices. Do you remember the elementary school in Russia? Who's to say that couldn't happen here? And what about Columbine? Nobody ever planned for that sort of a situation before.
To help us begin to organize, I've asked Fire Chief Kelso to help us address some points that we need to take into consideration. Chief?
Thank you very much, Doug. Greg brings up some very good points. We live in a frighteningly different world now than we did a decade ago. The purpose of the plan is to address that time frame between when the event happens on this campus, and it's someday it will happen on this campus, and the time we, the emergency responders, police, fire, and EMS, show up. The plan will have two really major components. The procedures. You have procedures now for fire drills. You have procedures for sick people coming to school. These procedures will be extended. The second part of the plan will be the Incident Command System. ICS is what we call it. This particular system, the ICS system, allows us to have command, control, and communication during an incident.
Communications during an incident. You know, this command and control thing you're talking about sounds very complicated.
It does now, but with a little practice, it gets a lot simpler. What you end up seeing within this incident command system would be an incident commander. It's called an IC. If it's a fire, medical, hazmat event, then what that's going to see is probably me or one of my counterparts as the fire chief.
If it's a law enforcement event, it would be the law enforcement chief officer.
The point that I'm driving at is that there's an incident commander, and then from that position, there's a descending line of various positions. This allows us to communicate and eliminate as much miscommunication as we can. So folks at the bottom have a way to go up to the top and get information. Folks at the top have a way to gather information and pass on information back down to the worker bees. In fact, you have the same kind of a system here. You have a principal, you have a vice principal, you have custodians. You have different people that do different jobs, and the incident command system works in that same arena. There are two fundamental principles that we really follow up here. One supervisor won't supervise more than 3 to 7 folks. See, there's 6 of us here. This would be about the size of the group that we would have to supervise. And we'll all enjoy this. All of us will only have one boss to report to. That's called unity of command.
So by using these two concepts, it simplifies the flow of the communication.
Exactly. In order to develop the plan and to call for how we organize it, you look upon this incident command system as sort of a pyramid. And the pyramid starts at the top with the incident commander, and as you add more people to it, it gets a little bit bigger. And then at the bottom, even though you may have, 50 people involved, there's not going to be more than 5 of those reporting to one, and then that one reporting to one, and by the time it gets into the incident commander, that individual is really only supervising 2 or 3 people. So it has the same principle that you see in your school now. The fact that we'll be working together is going to make it faster, because what we end up seeing is that your incident command system and our incident command system work together as a smoothly oiled machine with a little bit of practice. The thing that I must emphasize is that the plan that sits on the table and gathers cobwebs does no good. We need to see it here. Becky needs to know about it. I need to know about it. So you have to practice and exercise it. The plan that is not practiced and exercised is absolutely no good. When an event occurs, nobody will know what to do.
These are all too familiar images of our times, where acts of violence committed by terrorists have left an indelible mark in the world, both in the United States and abroad. Weapons of mass destruction, including chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, and explosive weapons, are considered to be the greatest threats to society. But while these may be the most dangerous weapons, they are by no means the only tactics employed by terrorists. In 2004, over 320 people were killed after terrorists took hundreds of children hostage in an elementary school in the small Russian town of...
There's been an explosion. Something blew up in B Hall.
Oh my God.
Call 911. Tell them that we've had an explosion.
Yes, ma'am.
Attention. An emergency has been reported in this building.
Yes, this is Baxter Middle School. We have had an explosion.
We need to go to hard lockdown. Have emergency response team B check the hall so that we can evacuate and have them meet me at B Hall.
Do not use elevators. Attention. Attention. An emergency has been reported.
Okay, we are going to hard lockdown according to our emergency plan. Assistant Principal Jones is in charge, and he will be the person that will be able to meet the police in the parking lot.
Attention everyone. We're now in hard lockdown. Please disregard the fire alarm and return to your classrooms immediately. Teachers, keep your doors locked. Move your students from the windows to the reinforced wall.
All right, everyone slide off. The wall.
Emergency Response Team A and Campus Police begin securing the emergency assembly area. Emergency Response Team B, report to the office.
For everyone's safety, make sure that no cell phones or wireless communications are used until otherwise instructed.
Got it, thank you. Teachers, at this time, there's to be no wireless communication or cell phone use until further notice. Repeat, no wireless communication or cell phone use until further notice.
Hold on.
We need to gather the office and school clinic emergency evacuation kits.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Rachel Sullivan in B6. Something has exploded outside my classroom.
Is anybody hurt?
Everyone appears to be okay, but we're all pretty shaken.
Okay, can you tell if there's a fire?
The door isn't hot. I can't see much in the hallway. It's smoky and there is some damage out there.
Okay, stay where you are and keep calm. Move everybody to the reinforced wall. We've already called 911, so we'll have assistance down to you as soon as possible.
Thank you. All right, let's all move back here to the corner.
We need to check these hallways quickly so we can evacuate. Once you're done checking a hallway, call the office and report it on at the intercom. Let's do this calmly and quickly. If you see anything suspicious, leave it alone and report it to the office. Now, once you're done with your sweep, meet Assistant Principal Higgins in hallway B. And again, guys, stay off the radios and the cell phones. Okay.
Are you okay? Can you tell me where it hurts?
My head.
Does it hurt anywhere else?
In my ear.
Does anything else hurt?
No.
I'll be right back, okay?
Okay.
Are you all right, Doug?
I'm fine. I don't know how many more people might be hurt. What's happening?
Our Team B is checking the hall so that we can evacuate, and then they're going to meet us here.
Good. It's Kelly, isn't it?
What?
Hey, look, don't touch.
First aid kit.
Student rosters.
I got it.
Student meds.
Building floor plan.
Right here.
Parent slips.
Master keys.
God, is that it?
That's it.
All right. Main office?
The cafeteria wing is clear.
Okay, thank you.
Becky, will you please page Carl to the office?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Carl, could you please come to the main office? Carl, could you please come to the main office?
Superintendent's office.
This is Greg Jones at Baxter Middle School. We've had an explosion inside the building.
Greg, what happened?
Well, we're currently in hard lockdown. We've alerted 911 and our in-school ERT teams are checking the hallway so we can evacuate.
Has anyone been injured?
I don't know. Principal Roberts was somewhere in the building when the explosion occurred and he hasn't checked back in with us yet. Also, we've got a classroom of students who are trapped.
Well, go ahead and continue with your plan. We'll get things started here.
All right, thank you, sir.
And Greg?
Yes, sir.
Good luck out there, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. I need to have my staff in my office right away, please. Everyone, there's been an explosion at Baxter Middle School. Now, whatever you're working on, go ahead and drop it. We need to go ahead and get our plan in action now. Harris, what I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and get all the schools in the county on soft lockdown. Do that immediately. Jessica, what are the numbers at Baxter?
I think it's about 600 people.
We'll need to go ahead and get about 8 to 10 buses out there so we can get the students and the staff off the facility, and which means we're going to have to open up the Civic Center, and we'll start family reunification out there. Amanda, go ahead and get in touch with the PIO and go ahead and get an announcement made. On second thought, go ahead and have her go down to the facility, make the announcement there to the media.
The PIO.
The Public Information Officer?
Right.
Okay, people, let's make this thing happen.
Yes.
All the hallways surrounding the gymnasium are clear, as are the locker rooms.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Hallway D is clear.
Okay, thank you. All the hallways are clear except for B hall.
Okay, good. Carl,
Yes.
you got your keys?
Yes, sir.
All right, I want you to stay with us.
We've checked athletic field. It's clear.
Thank you. Miss Sullivan,
Yes,
is everyone all right?
we're okay.
Good. We're going to clear the building now, but I want you and your students to stay where you are. We're going to send fire and police units down to you to get you out.
All right, thank you.
Can I have everyone's attention? At this time, we're going to evacuate the building in a calm and orderly manner. Students are to leave their book bags and purses at their desks, and cell phones are not to be utilized until further notice. Teachers, B Hall is not to be used as an evacuation route. Repeat, B Hall is not to be used as an evacuation route. Everyone in the building is to report to their designated assembly areas at the athletic field. Again, everyone is to report to their designated assembly areas at the athletic field in a calm and orderly manner, but B Hall is not to be utilized at this time.
All right, we're going to evacuate the building. Leave your book bags and your purses and don't touch anything. Come on.
Everybody needs to go to the assembly area and wait there. I need accurate head counts. Use adults as runners if we have to. Keep everyone as far away from the building as possible. Carl, you're with me.
Attention. Attention.
you the assistant principal?
I'm Greg Jones. Here's the situation. We've had an explosion inside the building. Now we're evacuating the faculty and the students. We've also got faculty members acting as an in-school emergency response team. They're wearing vests like this one. Okay, here's the layout of the building. This is the front door. This is B Hall where the explosion occurred. Now the principal was walking B Hall earlier. He may still be there and we may have others injured, but I can't confirm that. We've also got a classroom of students trapped right here at B6.
Do you know their status?
Well, I was with them on the intercom earlier. None of them are injured, but they are scared. Of course, that's not to say there aren't others injured here where the explosion occurred.
Okay, where are you evacuating to?
Athletic field, right there.
Okay, let's go over here so I can contact radio.
Okay, people, we've got to get organized, so listen up. We're going to be grouping everybody by grade and by class. I'm going to need the 6th graders over here to my left. I'm going to need the 7th graders in the middle. I'm going to need the 8th graders to my right. Stay with the class you were just in. And teachers, if you notice any students using a cell phone, confiscate them immediately. Okay, let's move.
3311 the radio.
3311.
3311, be advised, there's been an explosion inside Baxter Middle School. The administration is currently evacuating the building. There's one classroom with a undetermined amount trapped and injured. Be advised, responding units need to block off Kingston-Baxter intersection and the Peppermill-Baxter intersection.
Received.
Why don't we get out of here?
Because we were given instructions to stay put.
Why don't we just go out the window?
We're not going anywhere. We're going to stay right here and wait for help to arrive.
Car 510 is on the scene at Baxter Middle School. There's no smoke at this time. We'll be joining Baxter Middle School Command on Baxter Road. Pull me a second alarm. Have all units stage at Grady Stadium. Lieutenant, what do we have here?
An explosion, a device that possibly went off inside the building. Right now we've got a classroom full of kids trapped, and there are presumably others inside the affected area. Can you show him what you showed me?
Okay, the explosion occurred here in this hallway. B6 is the trapped classroom. Now, last I knew there was still an in-school ERT team, but we've evacuated everybody else to the athletic field. Carl, this is Carl. He's our head maintenance worker, so he can help you with anything in that department.
Good.
We've got Baxter Road blockaded on both ends. This is going to be a rescue situation, Chief, so I'm going to turn over command to you.
Okay, let's get some of these positions filled then. This is the incident command structure. Its purpose is to keep a clear and constant flow of information happening between myself and the other officers on the scene with positions like logistics and safety, etc. Carl, I'm going to plug you in here with operations. You will need to assist Officer Conway, who will be our operations officer. Greg, I'd like to keep you here at the incident command post in case I have any questions.
Sure.
Car 510 to radio, I'll be assuming a Baxter command. Lieutenant, if you would, go ahead and set up the law enforcement sector. In this particular case, we'd like to have you get an ambulance up to the field. If they stay far enough away from the building, we should be able to have radio communications between us and them without the fear of triggering any secondary devices. Let's get a recon and rescue team into that school now.
Good morning. My name is Courtney Wallace, and I'm the Public Information Officer for the Baxter County Board of Education. I am not taking any questions at this time, but I can give you more information regarding the incident that occurred at Baxter Middle School this morning. At approximately 10 a.m., an explosion of unknown origin occurred inside the building. School officials immediately contacted 911, and the appropriate authorities have been handling the situation.
Hey, are you guys doing okay down here?
Yes, we're okay.
Hi, I'm Helen. I'm the school nurse.
How are the kids holding up?
Some of them are pretty upset, but that seems to be the extent of it.
We're here just in case you need us because we're far enough away from the school building that we're able to radio back to Incident Command and keep them advised of our status.
Let them know that we're in the process of establishing an accurate head count of everyone who was in the building.
Okay, thank you.
Let's get a rescue team into the classroom and get those trapped students out now.
No, everyone's okay. We're all just a little shaken up.
Is everyone accounted for?
Yes, everyone's here.
Can you open this window?
Yes.
All right, one at a time.
All right, come on. That's everybody.
Sidewalk up to the next firefighter. Hurry.
The students from the trapped classroom are clear of the building and on their way to triage. Also, we've gotten information from the evacuation area that they are missing 3 students. A Jackie Whitmore, Annie Cook, and a Kelly Cutter.
Are those the 3 students that you pulled out of the building?
Yes, they are.
Ah, good. That means we have everyone accounted for. Now, what's the county's plan for the evacuation of this campus?
The county will be sending out buses to transport everyone to the Civic Center for family reunification.
Sir, Pickett says the buses are here.
Good. Let's get the buses up to the field and get these students out of here.
Yes, sir.
Allison, will you go and oversee everything at the Civic Center?
Of course.
Thank you.
Lieutenant, are you going to assume command now that the rescues are over?
No, my supervisor, Major Conley, is here. He'll take over as IC.
Car 510 radio, be advised we have everyone out of the building and accounted for. Major Conley of Law Enforcement will now be assuming incident command.
Chief.
Major.
Thank you.
Major, Doug Roberts, Greg Jones, Principal and Assistant Principal of Baxter Middle School.
Good to meet you both. We're going to begin our investigation of the school building, so I'll need you to brief us on what to expect in the classrooms.
Carl, this is Major Connolly. I want you to go with him and do anything he asks you to do.
Sure, Mr. Jones.
We'll begin here in this hallway.
Those are math and history classrooms. You should find them vacant.
Okay, good.
It began as any other school day here at Baxter Middle School. Students were studying in class when suddenly an explosion ripped through the building. It is not yet clear how this incident occurred, but there are a number of minor injuries reported. Police and emergency service officials responded immediately to the scene and then had to deal with this emergency. They have assured us that everything is now under control. So far, no fatalities have been reported, and the injured have been taken to local hospitals. Students are now being transported by bus to the Civic Center to be met by their parents. School officials and the superintendent's office have asked us to instruct parents to meet their children at the Civic Center for family reunification and not here at the middle school. We'll have more on this developing news story as it breaks. Reporting live for WJPM News, I'm Ron Schultz.
What you've just seen is a scenario that could happen in your community. At this point, you may have a lot of questions, so let's go over some of the more important items in this video. At the beginning of this presentation, the school faculty talked about CBRNE. CBRN stands for chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, and explosive weapons. Just as Becky stated, CBRN may sound a bit unrealistic for a school to come in contact with, but there are a lot of CBRN hazards that could occur on any given day. You've seen the explosive weapons, but what about the others? Some schools may have a science lab where a student may come in contact with or spill chemicals. Let's say that there is a large amount of people that are getting sick due to a virus such as the flu. That would be considered a biological issue. If there is a power plant in your area there happens to be a meltdown or a radiological release, then that would also affect the school tremendously. CBRN is not just a nuclear weapon. It has a lot of various sizes and scales of severity, anything from an accidental chemical spill or release to a student bringing in a canister of pepper spray. These are all things that a school needs to be prepared to handle. Remember the EAT boxes that a few of the faculty were toting around? These EEK, or emergency evacuation kits, are put together to help provide faculty and emergency responders with information and tools that may assist in the handling of the situation. Have you ever come across a problem where you needed something and then were unable to find or get that object in time to solve the problem? The EEK kits exist to help avoid this situation. You can find a list of EEK box items on the addendum to this disc. Once the emergency occurred, the school immediately went into hard lockdown. This meant that all of the students had to move to the hard reinforced wall and that all of the classroom doors had to be locked. In the response community, we referred to this action as shelter in place. Once the school was locked down, the assistant principal ordered 2 groups of teachers and faculty to do a security sweep of the campus. The purpose of doing a sweep of the school is to search for any other unknown hazards. You and your faculty should know your school and surroundings very well, and with that in mind, the ERT, or Emergency Response Team member, should be looking for anything out of the ordinary or out of place. Suspicious items could be anything from an unattended backpack to an open locker and may need to be looked at by police. If you do find something, look, but don't touch. There is no telling what may be in a suspicious package or item. Make a note of it and report it to the office. This also goes back to why all the students must leave all their bags and personal belongings in classrooms before they evacuate. By doing so, it keeps any potential problems isolated inside the building and away from the student body, faculty, and staff. If students and faculty are allowed to bring their personal items with them to the assembly area, there is no telling what potential dangers or threats could occur. Another explosive device could be brought out in the middle of the crowd, which could endanger everyone and double the problem areas, thus escalating the situation. So it is vital that, when everyone is evacuating, no one should bring any personal items to the assembly area. As soon as the situation occurred, an order was given by the vice principal to everyone in the school that the use of cell phones and wireless radios was expressly forbidden. Cell phones and wireless radio signals can trigger explosive devices. For the sake of everyone's safety, it is vital that all cell phone and wireless communication cease immediately. What about those red and green cards? What are those for? The red and green cards are to assist in keeping up with how many people are in a room and to indicate if an emergency exists. If one exists, the green card means that everyone is accounted for and that everyone is okay. The red card means that there is an emergency or that the occupants are trapped inside their location. Each card must include the room number and the number of people that are accounted for. There should be a card slipped underneath the door to your room, and a second one should be placed on an outside window. This way, emergency responders can see from a distance which rooms need assistance, and the incident commander can address the emergencies on a map, and therefore take the appropriate measures. When the building is to be evacuated, bring the card that is outside your classroom door with you. This will assist in accounting for all of the people in the school, and to help make sure that all the students and faculty are out of the building. Keep in mind that when you are making an evacuation plan for your school, that there should be multiple options and different distances assigned for your assembly area, based on the emergency. The minimum safe distance for an explosive is going to be different than for a fire. A fire requires the assembly area to be a minimum of 300 feet from the building, where an explosion or threat of an explosion requires the assembly area to be at least 1,000 feet away from the building. If during the evacuation you are uncertain how far away you must be from the building, always go to the furthest possible distance. Now let's talk a minute about the Incident Command System. You've been able to see the Incident Command structure in action. Everyone inside Baxter Middle School had a position and a job to do. Information could be brought to the Incident Commander, and solutions were passed down to the other teachers and faculty. When the emergency responders arrived, the school's own command structure fit inside the overall event incident command structure, and everyone had a part to play. School administrators are an important component inside the incident command structure for the emergency responders. Since you know the faculty, the student body, the campus, and the surrounding area better than anyone, and because you are familiar with the Board of Education and county procedures, your assistance will be vital to the incident commander. Everyone in the jurisdiction needs to have the same guidelines and know what is required of them when a disaster occurs. That way, everyone can work together flawlessly. It is imperative that your school and school system exercise your emergency disaster plans so that you can work out any problems, and everyone understands their roles during the emergency. Keep in mind that all incidents are different, and your plan must be flexible in order to accommodate a number of potentially deadly situations. Your plan should always be able to change if necessary. You must be able to work with each other in a professional and orderly manner so that when a real disaster occurs in your community, lives can be saved. Remember, if you haven't tested your plan, it's the same as not having a plan at all. Work with the local and state agencies to test your plan inside your schools, and we can all live safer and more prepared lives. Then everyone will have an education for disaster.